Barely went to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Barely.
I don't remember the riff though.
Tell you the truth, folks, it wasn't really me. I was home at night watching black and white TV. Between the hours of midnight and dawn, I think I was at home. I don't believe I was the one. I'm barely guilty of that. I'm barely guilty of that. It wasn't me, I'm not the one. I quit it as soon as I had to wear glasses. I swear, I'm not the one. I was barely guilty. Barely guilty, folks. I never done it. I never would. My mama told me I never should. I listened to her. I listened well. I'm barely guilty and I'm here to tell I'm barely guilty of that. I'm barely guilty of that. Well, I never done it, I never would. My mama told me that I never should. So I'm barely guilty of that. I'm barely guilty of that. How can I be out of money? I still got checks. Oh my goodness, what's gonna happen next? I didn't pay the bills because I didn't feel like they was due. I barely even have a calendar that works right for me. Maybe you. I'm not guilty. I'm barely guilty. Well, I don't know how it all come around to that. I'm barely guilty, guilty of that. I'm barely guilty of that. I'm barely guilty of that. My pants is tight, it's not cause I'm fat. I'm still the same weight that I always was at. Fried chicken, white bread and butter too. Ain't nothing changed in this body. I ask you, I'm barely guilty. I'm barely guilty. Well, I never did it and I never would. My mama said, son, that's one thing that you never should. I'm barely guilty. I'm barely guilty. Red-handed, backside, blindsided on a short ride. I had my ticket, it just blew out of my hand. Oh, you've got to understand, I'm barely guilty. I'm barely guilty. Well, I tell you, right here is like bread and molasses. I did it once, but I quit as soon as I had to wear these glasses. I'm barely guilty. I'm barely guilty. Build on that snare call, Will. I know you. Lily White. Just because you don't wear glasses. Could be contacts in there. In the middle of the neighborhood. I'm barely guilty because I really slowed down, but I got pulled over by that city clown. I'm barely guilty. Oh, I'm barely guilty. just get him home on time.
I'm very guilty.
Leon, what should we get snail? What do you think? Just get him another one, right? Yeah. The brown, yeah. I always said you never can trust them. If they can count, leave them out. Yeah. I'm gonna share it. Barely guilty of it, boys. Oh. Yeah, well, one time maybe. One time, I'm telling you. Just one time. Never more than that. I was just experimenting with it. You know, I'm only 53. I'm just in that experimental stage. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm barely guilty. Not quite. I'm in the gray area. You know, not really red-handed, not really white-handed, not really. You know what I mean? Look at them. Do they look red to you? Come on now. Tell me, fellas. I'm barely guilty of that. Oh, look at that color difference. Barely guilty of that. Barely guilty of that. Barely guilty of that. I'm barely guilty of that. Mike Rosso on the 4-string electric bass. Mike Rosso Sr. Step to the mic, Mike Rosso. Do something for the people. Mike Rosso's living proof. Did I have it right side up? Yeah, let's check. Perfect. Barely guilty of that. I'm 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 barely guilty of that. Low-cal all the way. All the way.
Just on your way to church.
That's right. I was just on my way to church when it fell down there. I'm barely guilty. I didn't mean to touch it. It leapt upon me. Thank you, gentlemen. I knew you'd understand.